uplifting, emotional, inspiring. Other marketing buzzwords. Welcome, creatives, Imagineers, people who like things. My name is Austin Civatte. I'm the creative director here at Speedrun Studios. You are listening to Ready, Set, Run, the improv show where we let go of all of our morals and give in to corporate demands. Each episode, I, along with our extremely qualified guest stars, brainstorm completely real project ideas brought in from our corporate theater overlords, of course. Today, I am thrilled to welcome to the mic my good friend and stage partner, Mr. Corban Melder. How are you doing today?
I am doing fantastic. Very, very good today.
Incredible. We have been sitting, as much as this may be the first time you are hearing our voices, listeners, we have been sitting in these chairs testing these microphones for, I want to say, the last 30 minutes?
About a solid half hour,
Yeah,
I'd say. No. Very hectic half hour.
Which, by the way, listeners, we're recording this on Thursday, December the 22nd, which is, I believe, the first day of the winter of 2022 that has gone below freezing officially. I think that is officially in
right.
Austin. And oh boy, has it been quite a journey for the both of us to get here.
Yeah, we're sitting at a solid 23 right now.
23 degrees
23
outside.
degrees outside.
Thank God we are inside.
Thank God, right.
Yeah. Is your car's heater in working condition?
Yes, because my engine runs very hot.
Good. That I'm concerned for you. Thank you so much for making the trek out over to this
absolutely.
episode. But I don't know why we're sitting around, lollygagging. We've got a podcast to make.
Amen.
Do you think you're ready for phase one?
Yes.
All right, let's do it. Welcome to phase one, which we call On Your Mark.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
I'm on it.
Every good pitch starts with some rapport building, of course. I have got the ideas binder right here on my phone, but the ideas binder scares me. I don't like it. The ideas are terrifying, and so I choose to not look at them until I absolutely have to.
Corporate.
Yeah. This is Dinkelberg. That's
HR will be hearing from me.
You have captured my feelings exactly. Now, in phase one, we let the creative juices flow and catch up with our guests before the brainstorming. So, Corban.
Yeah.
The two of us have known each other since summer of last year, right? Summer 2021.
2021.
Yeah. In a lovely production of what I think is universally agreed to be the greatest musical ever written of all time.
Oh,
I think.
well,
no, I think that's an objective opinion.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if we're just talking like flat line, best ever produced musical, I think you're right. Honestly,
I think. I mean, this is Mamma Mia, of course, listeners. I don't know what you were thinking in your head.
Yeah.
But Mamma Mia is a flawless musical. There are no problems with it whatsoever.
At all, none, zero. Especially the production that we did.
Oh yeah.
Spotless. Honestly, spotless.
I mean, I had a great time.
I mean, yeah, no, absolutely. I don't think it's really possible for a show to go perfect.
Sure.
But I would definitely say this was close to it.
Yeah,
I
I think the key with like high school theater is like, that's why I was so happy to be a part of that company, a part of that program, because it was the closest to professional scale, like professional level that that all of us could get at that point.
Yeah,
and it was such an incredible opportunity to be able to work with so many peers from other schools. Like I wouldn't have known you without that program. And it is such a cool like uniting of not only like students and theater goers, but also educators as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Like so many of what I consider to be some of the best education I've ever gotten. It was an absolutely lovely program.
Going to that program, I can confidently say saved my love for theater. Okay. Because I had been out of theater for about a year.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about this, about like, your history with theater prior to Mamma Mia. Yeah, exactly.
Sweet. So let's jump into it real quick.
Let's do it.
All right. So I have an older sister. Okay. I don't know if you've ever met her before, but she does basically everything that I do because in my life I've spent all of my time competing with her.
Oh, goodness.
Right? It is a constant competition, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so she started doing theater in 6th grade, and I decided that I want to be better than her, so I'm going to do it too.
As we do.
Right. All with love. All with love, of course. So my first show that I ever auditioned for was The Little Mermaid in 6th grade, and I got cast as Flounder.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's really funny because that is, and no insult to you, not a role that I would peg you as in that show.
Right.
I would peg you as a Triton or a Eric way before I pegged you as a Flounder.
So let me pull up a picture of me back then, and let me show you why they saw the Flounder. Because I was roughly about 5 foot even.
Because this is the best thing for audio podcasts is pictures. That is the greatest. No.
That was me in 6th grade.
Okay, are you sure? I can
You see the Flounder?
I could.
He's just kind of bubbling around.
I don't like that we've immediately archetyped all people who have ever played Flounder ever.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, if we're talking Disney, you know.
Sure. Okay.
Either way, I did a few shows through middle school, and then going into high school, I was taller, more mature, and I continued through theater and started getting typecast as more like princes and like that character archetype. Really,
I mean, I feel like that's a big thing with, and not to say that a lot of the male theater, the theater guys that I worked with over the years were not incredibly talented.
Right.
But I think all of us, especially in high school and college programs, we have an advantage in theater programs.
Oh yeah.
Because there's like one of us for every 3, like at minimum, females in the industry. And I think that's a big thing, because often in a lot of musicals, the leading man, there's some big male populated musicals out there that most high schools will never get a chance to do.
Exactly. No, it's definitely a huge advantage, especially like in that point, just because I feel like a lot of it has to do with like fragile masculinity.
Yeah,
because that's something I struggled with a lot through my early high school years.
Okay.
I was playing a lot of football. I was doing track, tennis, golf, football. I was wrestling. Like I was playing like every sport that I could while still doing theater. And all of my coaches would always like tease me about it. But I was always comfortable in my masculinity when it came to theater.
A regular Troy Bolton, if you will.
But basically, through doing theater and everything, and taking all the slack and people cracking jokes, and like, I found security in knowing that I'm able to diversify myself. You know what I mean? I'm able to experience more things.
Absolutely.
And make myself happier because I can see more sides of life. You know.
This was a conversation that I had with a couple of coworkers. Is when you look at it fundamentally, there is no difference, like in terms of their basic mannerisms, between like geeks and jocks. Like they both really weirdly obsessed with very strange niche things. Like football people, like fantasy football is the D&D of sports.
It literally.
Like it's like, why does fantasy football, why is that a thing? It's like people couldn't get enough of playing football, so they wanted to play football when they weren't playing football.
Including
like,
Madden.
Yeah,
you playing it.
Yeah, literally. Like there is no fundamental difference between the geeks and the jocks. I think a lot of that is with the theater community. It's like, like I grew up, man, I was embarrassingly theater kid. Like it was the only, which you telling me you got into theater to be better than your sister,
right?
If I may paraphrase.
Yes.
Was the reason why you got to theater. It made me remember for the first time in a while that I did in fact get into an after-school theater camp in the 5th grade to impress a girl that I liked. Ladies and gentlemen,
yes.
And now it is the only thing I will ever talk about. So here we are. So you started doing theater in high school.
So I started doing theater in high school, and I was Harry in Chicago, which is not a lead by any means. He's just he shows up in one scene and gets shot.
The guy who gets shot? Yeah.
He shows up and gets shot.
And then he comes up, like in the courtroom, there's some flashbacks where he shows up again too for the second time. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
And so I played him, and I just loved high school theater because we were on a big stage, everything felt a lot better. People were really good. They'd been in vocal lessons, and then my sophomore year, I was cast as the Tin Man in The Wizard of Oz.
Let's go.
And that was a great experience. I loved doing it. But then COVID hit.
Oh goodness.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I was out of theater, and I was focusing really heavily on football.
Yeah.
I had been training the entire time during quarantine, messaging coaches. I built a Twitter around myself for football with all my statistics, clips, and videos, and working really hard to get recruited for football, and it worked, and I got a couple of offers.
Again, very nerdy.
Like, right,
exactly. In all the best ways.
It was extremely, very geeky.
In all the best ways.
Obsessing over it. countless hours searching schools and breaking down all the coaches' Twitters.
I mean,
and
more power
all of them.
to you. Yeah,
Right.
It's like, seriously.
And I was grinding for it. But I ended up getting some offers for football, and I was like, okay, so theater chapter is closed. I'm going to focus on football.
Sure.
And then my now ex, but my girlfriend at the time, was talking to me, and she mentioned that this theater program is doing a production of Mamma Mia, my favorite show at the time, by far. Absolutely loved Mamma Mia.
Yeah.
And I had told her, if I ever got the chance to do Mamma Mia, I would always do it. I would kill for the chance to do Mamma Mia.
Wow.
And so I at the time, I genuinely quit my job.
Wow.
I was working at HEB at the time, and I quit my job because it was going to be 8 hours a day, 5 days a week.
Holy shit! I did the same thing.
Yeah.
I quit my job to go be in Mamma Mia.
Yeah.
I did the same shit. Wow. Yeah.
And so I left my job because this was a production I was going to give everything to. And so I started the process, and I started being taken back into the world of theater, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
I loved everything about it. The stage was massive.
Oh my
The
goodness.
theater is huge. The budget,
What
the
a venue.
people,
What a
just
venue.
meeting
Yeah.
everybody. It's absolutely amazing.
Absolutely.
Getting the opportunity to have vocal lessons, like everything was just everything that I wanted from it, right?
Yeah.
The production went over great, in my opinion.
Oh, absolutely. I
and
had a blast, and getting to know you and so many of the people that I am now
absolutely.
friends with.
Yeah. Getting to start the D&D campaign.
Oh my goodness!
That had
now,
such a large
Now
impact.
we're talking about this.
Yeah.
Now we must talk about this.
Oh.
Yeah, that was summer of 2021.
Yeah.
And we were double cast in the same role. That was such a fun experience to be able to work together.
Absolutely.
And I was like, you are just a. Forgive me for gassing you up. You're a naturally funny person. I'm like, this.
Thank you very much.
You sound like you would be incredible in a D&D group, which I run occasionally. And I believe you came to me. You were like, yeah, I used to be in a D&D group, and they kicked me out because they didn't like me.
Gosh. Oh, it was so bad.
And I was like, what? And they were like, yeah. They were like, were they deliberately trying to kill you in the campaign?
They did kill me.
They did kill. They succeeded.
They fully killed me.
They succeeded.
We finished this like couple of weeks of campaign, and they were like, "Hey man, I gotta show you something really cool."
Oh god.
And I was like, "Oh dude, oh I'm so psyched! Like I just finished this big mission." And they were like, "Follow me." And I followed him into the woods, and it was just me and two other guys, like the DM and another guy. And they were like, "So this is what I wanted to show you." And then, like, just smites me down. I don't even remember what he used. He used, like, Dagger Storm or something.
And it's so hard, especially in PC v PC combat in D&D 5th edition, to kill, like, a player like that.
Stood no chance. He rolled a critical, like, natural 20,
Oh my
critical
God.
hit.
Apologies to listeners if the podcast has now officially gotten too nerdy. But no, to explain it in as many layman's terms as possible, you know, Dungeons and Dragons, it's an improv game. It is an imagination improv game, and I just like from working with Corban, like I compiled a list of some of my previous friends and some of my friends from that theater company, and you immediately made an impact on that group. I remember also you coming to me, I was like, so what kind of character are you thinking? You're like, I don't know, but I want him to be Russian and sell soap.
Yeah.
And those were the two things that you told me.
Yeah.
And I think from first session to end of session,
Yeah.
like for an entire year, those were your morals. Those were pretty much the only two things.
Sell soap and be Russian.
Those were the two things that made up Giuseppe Kokowski in the best way.
Oh, yeah.
I remember, I will never forget this, how just absolutely, because I really liked Giuseppe, and I knew you were going away to college, so, you know, I wanted to find satisfying ways to, like, wrap up your character's arc in the story. And so I started giving Giuseppe his own side quests, like, to complete within the world of the game. What that meant at session was there were 5 of us, friends, and they would all go, hey, let's go to the shop and buy more equipment so we can be better fighters. And Giuseppe going, no, I do not think I am going to do that. And running in the opposite direction constantly. Just
Guys, I think you should go, and I will catch up to you later. Roger will be nearby to save us. We will be okay. Goodbye. No, Giuseppe, don't. Oh, see you later.
listeners, you have no idea what you're missing, and I hope that today is just a little bit of a taste of how much chaos happens when you put the two of us in a room.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Can't have anything.
Yeah.